Hey guys, do you hear me now? Anybody can respond so that we know exactly if this is clear or what.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so we are already 7 minutes late, so we can start. And of course, many people registered, only about 10 people or less here today. Hopefully, summertime it always happens, but it's okay. Serious people are here, so we'll start. So this is all about buying a multifamily property within 180 days with zero down strategies or VTBs or whatever. Most likely people, you may be a little bit having some knowledge about that when to take back or zero down strategies. And probably for multifamily and commercial property purchase, we have to have that skill raising capital and go with other people's money called VTB or second mortgage or whatever. There are so many other ways too. So because if you don't have that skill, definitely after one or two properties, you may have to stop buying properties because you will not have enough money in your bank account so that you can keep on buying properties after properties unless you sell that property. So for that reason, and in real estate, buy and hold is the best strategy. So I don't recommend people to sell properties unnecessarily. So how are you going to buy the second property, third property? Definitely you have to learn that VTB strategies, PM strategies. And OPM strategies is definitely a must. But at the same time, here we are going to talk about the first property, most likely, how you are going to buy your first multifamily property with zero down. Probably you may have bought single family properties for you or even to, as a rental property. Of course, I did that too. I came to this country in 2006 and sorry, 2004 September. And within 6 months, I bought my first property with zero down. And then within 2 years' time, I bought the second property and moved to the second one and rented the first one. So like that, I came into this real estate industry and with zero down. And of course, in 2009, I lost my job as an accountant. And because of that, it was a little bit tough in my cash flow. But at the same time, the particular tenant in that first property, he stopped paying rent. So I didn't know how to evict him, and I begged him too much, and I went to his office and home everywhere to ask for the money, but he didn't pay me. So at last, I lost the property for Bank of Montreal on power sale. So after that, I decided to become as a mortgage broker because I noticed that I lost the property just because I did not have enough knowledge and enough contacts in real estate. So I didn't want to quit with that. So I want to continue from that place where I lost. So I was able to learn that and then bought enough properties, about 14 or 15 single detached properties. Then, of course, about 6 years back, I decided I can't grow more than that in real estate if I go into single family, especially in Canada. Then I decided to go into multifamily because multifamily has many, many advantages compared to single family and growth potential is limitless. So I decided to go into that. But of course, it took about 2 years of what, even after I decided to go into multifamily and even after I learned a little bit on that, still I was not ready and I didn't even buy any properties because single family and multifamily both are totally different. So in that case, I had to really learn a little more because single family, of course, over the phone, I bought properties. Sometimes few of my real referral partners or realtors may tell me there is a property in this location, this is the features, this is the price and everything. Then I exactly tell, okay, put the price this and I will send a check or things like that. Within 1 hour, I go to the location, buy the property. Sometime over the phone, I commit that and ask my realtor to send the document to sign up and things like that. But when I come into multifamily, I couldn't do that type of small step because it has more than one unit and it has totally different things compared to single family. So I had to really learn that. Till that point, I visited the property many times, things like that. But of course, without more down payment, I can't continue more. So that's the reason here I put that you should be able to buy your first multifamily property within 180 days with zero down strategies. But zero down is only a strategy. I always tell that many people come to me just because of that, but that's only a strategy. But the ultimate destination is buying a property, buying a multifamily. And buying a multifamily property means what sort of multifamily property are you going to buy? That's clear. But at the same time, why you're going to buy a multifamily property? And of course, What are you going to achieve through that is most important, because the destination is okay, but what are you going to do in the destination? In my opinion, I tell people, my coaching students and all, if you buy a multifamily, it should be able to give you about 300,000 to $500,000 in 3 to 5 years time as capital gains. If you cannot make that much of money, probably you are playing small, so that may not be worth it. So you have to raise your game. But of course, if you want to go even bigger, it's perfectly all right. So minimum, in my opinion, 300,000 to $500,000, you should be able to make in 3 to 5 years time. So if you don't find that, it's not worth it. But at the same time, you should be able to do that in any market. That's the most important thing. Recession market or upcoming market, booming market, or even declining market, whatever it is, you should be able to do that. That sort of strategies only we are doing that and following. So here you are going to learn about that one. But at the same time, at the end of the webinar, of course, definitely you will be having a full idea how these zero down strategies working, especially in multifamily property. And probably you will have some confidence that you can buy a multifamily property. So that's the most important thing in my point of view, because today, who is there? 1 second. Yeah, there are some people, but at the same time, today one of our potential students talked to me. He is in this country only for 2 months, but at the same time, he has a reasonably good real estate understanding from back home, and he is really ready. 99% he is ready to join this and start taking action. So it is not limited by your knowledge or experience or whatever, because here the knowledge, experience, and everything we are going to share with you guys if you are a full-time inner circle student with us. But even with this 1 day seminar, you will be able to get some idea how you can buy a multifamily property with zero down strategies. As I tell everywhere, for those who join me and continue up to the end of this webinar, of course, I promise you'll get a chance to work with me or invest with me or learn from me. So that's my promise. And here you can see some people maybe here who don't understand what is multifamily. Multifamily means apartment building. It starts from 2 units to any 200 units or whatever. 200 units means duplex, then triplex, 3 units, 4plex. Yeah. And this is an 8-unit one. And of course, this is 8-unit plus 2 commercial. We call that as mixed commercials. So there are so many benefits from mixed commercial and single pure residential differently. So you can think about that and decide what sort of property you really want to buy. By end of this year, if you really decide, you can buy a property. So you just put your goal and put your number, what sort of property you want to buy. At that time, don't even think whether you have knowledge, whether you have down payment, whatever you have or not. Don't even go to that statistics. Simply decide, I want to buy a property. Then you can decide who can help you. You're not going to check that how first. You're going to check who is going to help you. So from that who answer, you should be able to take the rest of the things. So that's always the way the successful people try to go for it, because they don't try to learn everything and spend time on researching. My name is Leo Ganesh. I'm a real estate investor and coach. Of course, last year, 2021-22, I bought about 10 properties with $9.7 million worth, and it gave about $3.2 million capital gains as profit. Of course, I made that happen with VTB, second mortgage and third mortgage, not with my own money or not with any investor's equity capital. So that is how I bought the properties. So these are the 10 properties that I bought. Of course, in 3 properties, I used some joint venture strategies. But other than that, everything we bought it on our company name individually with zero down. So in that case, 3.2 million means on average, it's about $266,000 capital gains per month. So that is the beauty and opportunity in real estate, especially in multifamily. And as I told, the 3.2 million is unrealized capital gain because I did not sell those properties. In that case, it is unrealized. If I sell, of course, it's a realized gain. But of course, realized gain may fluctuate from time to time, plus or minus, as you know. But most of the smart investors don't sell their properties. They try to protect their generational wealth by proper corporate structure and family trust. Of course, this is how always they try to do it. As I told, buy and hold is the best real estate strategy because many people have so much of questions on that. But if you simply see somebody and talk, if they have bought a property 10 years back in Canada, how much was the price and now how much is the price? It's about 200% to 300% increase. So that's the opportunity when you keep that. So of course, as I told, my portfolio has a first mortgage, second mortgage, VTB, third mortgage too, but no investor capital. 100%, for that reason, the 100% net profit belongs to me. If you put an investor capital, of course, investors into the purchase, of course, you are going to share the profit. Sharing a profit is a perfectly good idea. I have no doubt about that. I did many times that. But these 10 properties, I particularly decided to go with zero down strategies with VTB and debt capital. That's the reason I did that way. So I can teach that to my students. That's the reason. Other than that, if you find an investor partner, if you're going to share the profit, that is perfectly okay. That is a long-term best strategy too. So here you can understand all the profits should belong to us. And I'm putting a disclaimer here because I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an accountant, I'm not a tax advisor here. You must consult with your own advisors for specific matters like that. I'm only sharing my own experience and opinion. So in my opinion, of course, multifamily is the safest asset class in real estate. Second one, it is recession proof and it has lots of tax benefits. And of course, it gives biggest profit potential. And of course, it has the unlimited growth potential. In my opinion, and in many people's opinion, it is much better than single family. I hope you will agree too. Guys, if you have any question, please raise to me anytime. You can raise your hand or even you can interrupt and talk to me. So who really wants to make wealth from multifamily? If you have any serious idea, maybe you may have just joined or you may have some big idea or serious idea or what, I don't know. If you really want to share your goal, let us know. And here, of course, this training is going to take about 60 minutes, maximum 90 minutes. And of course, how many of you think in real estate, especially in multifamily, it's taking a lot of time? Second one, managing and increasing the market value is difficult. And third one, multifamily needs a bigger down payment. That means, of course, these are the difficulties or problems in multifamily or commercial real estate. And that's the reason many people don't go into that side. If you agree with that or even disagree with that, you can raise your hand or talk to me. But probably one question I have is, how many of you here already have some multifamily properties? So already started the journey in multifamily or commercial properties from single family? If you have done that, please raise your hand or just tell me. The first misbelief, as I told here, multifamily property will take a lot of time to buy. I agree, many way it is correct, because even for me, it took about 2 or 3 years, even after I decided to go into multifamily. And of course, I had enough knowledge in single family. I bought about 14 properties. And again, I'm a mortgage broker and accountant by profession. Even with that much of experience and everything, even then it took about 2 to 3 years time for me to buy the first multifamily property. Of course, it'll take time. Second one, managing and increasing the market value is difficult. Many people talk about that. And the first reason people say is most of the multifamily properties are 100% tenanted or 95% tenanted. So there is no room to increase the market. Second one, Ontario is a tenant-friendly province, and here we can't evict the tenant and we can't increase the rent more than 2 to 2.5%. So it is not possible for us to increase the market value. The next point is people say there are many properties negative cash flowing, so it is not a worthy idea. The next one is, of course, no additional income. That means whatever the income coming from the property is the maximum. So people think increasing the market value is difficult in multifamily. That's a general misbelief, but it is not exactly true. We'll talk about that again. So the third point or the misbelief is buying multifamily needs a lots of money. Generally, of course, banks are expecting about 25% down, and bank mortgage is fairly difficult. Many people know that. And many people don't have enough money, so they decided not to go for multifamily. The fourth point is, of course, I can't save that much of money in order to buy a multifamily, so I better start somewhere a smaller property, single family. That's how they started. Another thing, of course, they are thinking credit income down payment should be there. So they think it is not a possible thing for them to get into multifamily, and they think multifamily is only for the bigger boys. So these are the misbelief. But if you also believe that way, then how are you going to get into multifamily? Especially, I'm asking people should get into multifamily and they should be able to buy a property within 6 months to 12 months time maximum. They should be able to do that within 1 month to 6 months time if they are serious and committed. But of course, if they don't have any knowledge or whatever, sometimes they can take up to 6 months to 12 months. But definitely you have to grab that opportunity, because right now in Canada and USA, the real estate market is having a lots of opportunity. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity, in my opinion, because prices are unusually low, you know that. And of course, interest rate is unusually high, but don't worry about that one. We'll think about the price and the opportunity, because many people look at the obstacles and they forget about the opportunity. Even this interest rate high is really not an obstacle, it's an opportunity. Because one example I can tell, one of my real estate clients, that means a mortgage client, he wanted to buy a property, bigger property for him and his wife, family. And last year he looked at one property about $1.85 million. And he was thinking about the price and everything. But this year, the same property came for $1.4 million. So $450,000 less in price. So immediately he decided, yes, I'm going to buy this one so that I can save this $450,000. And again, he decided and he understood that it's going to cost him about $1,500 per month more in the mortgage payment. Even then, he decided this recession or whatever so-called this situation may continue about 1 to 2 years time. Worst case scenario, 2 years time means about 24 months into 1,500 is about $36,000. $36,000 I'm going to pay more, and I'm going to save about $450,000. So he took a sensible decision to buy that property, and now he is living in that property happily. So it is definitely a biggest opportunity, because $450,000 profit versus $36,000 cost, additional cost for the next 2 years time. So who will not say no for that opportunity? Only people really take decision emotionally may take that decision. All others, if they are really thinking sensibly, or if they really behave like a savvy investor, they will still buy properties, because the competition is less. You have lots of bargaining power towards the seller, and this is a buyer's market. So you can do a lot of things. And especially if you learn these zero down strategies, VTBs and everything, you will be able to do a lot of bigger game. So that's why I'm telling it's really a good opportunity for you to increase, buy properties now. So what is the solution? Because if those three misbeliefs are true or back of your mind running, so how can you buy a property? My answer is you have to have a unique proprietary process in buying properties and managing real estate. Second one, you should have a continuous support. You should have expert advice. And fourth one, you should continuously learn. The fourth one or fifth one is you should build up a self-managing business. That's the fifth one is coming only relevant only if you decide to buy more properties and continue buying properties. In that case, you have to make that as a self-managing business. And of course, I can solve all those problems. In that case, you should be able to definitely buy a property, one or two or whatever. So now we can think about why these people or the three misbeliefs are wrong. First one, it will not take a lot of time to buy a multifamily. That we told within 3 weeks, 3 months to 6 months time, you should be able to buy a multifamily property. Because I bought 10 multifamily property in 1 year, so you can definitely buy one at least, no doubt about it. And of course, those who don't understand how things are working will take longer time. Even in math or science or exam or anywhere you would have seen the learning curve, everything, you know that. If people don't know what they are doing or they don't know exactly how to do it, they will take a lot of time. So that is the same thing. If you don't know about real estate or especially multifamily, you will take a lot of time. But if you know the process correctly and theory behind, of course, you can move faster. That's why I told you, if you know the proprietary process very well, you can buy faster. And even now I'm putting offers and I'm checking properties, and many savvy real estate investors are looking for deals now. Because if it is buyer's market, and if we don't look for deals, what's the point? Then how can you call you as a real estate investor? Ordinary buyers can wait, panic and things like that, but you should continue buying. So that's why I'm telling you, it will not take a lot of time. The second point, managing and increasing the profit and the market value is easy in my opinion. Only for that reason, you must find the right properties and you must use the right strategies and you must work with the right people. These are the things that has to happen. If that happens, definitely you can buy and manage and increase the market value very easily. And I told you one example that $1.85 million property was available for from a client of mine for $1.4 million. So that means $450,000 cheaper. But even in this market, commercial properties increase the value. I bought many properties and every single property value has gone higher than the purchase price what I did. So the reason is I was able to increase the market value in any market. I'm not dependent on the market condition and everything. The multifamily we work and we increase the value in a different way. That means we increase the net operating income. When we increase the net operating income, automatically we are able to increase the market value. So that's what we are doing. It is very, very possible. I can show some example later. So one example here, you can see if you put about $200,000 investment and make a profit of $100,000 in 1 year, your ROI is 50%. And if you invest only $100,000 and make the same $100,000 profit from that property or business, the ROI is 100%. And you know exactly if you put the loan or the investment or the savings into a bank, probably you may get about 2% to 5% interest as ROI. It can be a GIC or whatever investments you're putting. It may be only about 1 to 5%. But investments, of course, if you choose in the right way, you can go up to this. Second example I put here, if you increase the rent by $100 per month in 1 year's time, or the property value will be increased by $24,000. And if by chance you buy a property, a multifamily property with 5 doors, 5 units, and if you can increase $100 per unit per month, $500 per month, and that will bring up your market value by $120,000. So this is how we increase the market value. This is what we are teaching here. So if you know the proprietary process, you can definitely do that. And the third opposition or third misbelief is finding multifamily property. We need lots of money, but I'm saying you don't need a lot of money because I bought 10 multifamily properties with zero down strategies in 1 single year. So you can definitely do that. And of course, I use this other people's money, use the VTB strategies and things like that. So if you understand how debt capital is working or equity capital is working, you can definitely make the difference. And of course, in some instances, I was able to finance 100% loan to value. Sometimes I did that even 105% loan to value. By the time I closed the deal, I had cash in my hand. So that type of deal only we are talking. So this is the right way to get into real estate and move forward faster. So as I told the proprietary process, I want to ask you, what is that proprietary process? The answer is a specific predefined way of doing the required steps in order to get a specific result. So that is the meaning of proprietary process. So in real estate, multifamily, what is a proprietary process I want to teach you guys? That is finding good properties, how to find good properties, how to submit offers and negotiate, how to underwrite the deal, how to inspect the properties and how to do the due diligence and finding the down payment or raising capital, how to arrange the mortgage and how to operate this as a business and how to increase the market value. And 10th one is exit or refinancing. So I call the 10th step as infinite return. If you don't sell that property, if you do a refinance and get your deposit back, or if you get back the deposit and pay back to your investors, if there is no down payment or your equity capital is in that property, after that, every amount what you are getting as a return is called infinite return. So that is the ultimate purpose of multifamily commercial properties. So you should be able to put a little bit of down payment or no down payment. Even if you put down payment, after some time, you should be able to take that out and pay back to your investors. Even then, you should be able to continue having a property. So that's the way called as infinite cash flow. So these are the properties, as I told you, I bought in 1 year's time. So we can go for this one. I hope you may be getting good value, or otherwise at least some good confidence, saying that you should be able to buy a property with zero down or less down payment. But don't restrict yourself. Always it should be zero. If it is possible, it is good. But if you have to put 5% or in worst case scenario 10%, still if the deal is a great deal, you put the down payment, because zero down VTB is only a strategy. But ultimately, if you have a good property, no matter what, you can grab it. For example, if you find a property and if you understand you can make up $500,000 or $1 million profit within 1 year's time, will you find somebody and put some down payment and buy the property or not? In my case, yes, I will, because first I'm looking at a deal and see whether it is a real good deal. If it's a real good deal, second question is how much can I spend for that? How much of time I can take, how much of money I can put on that, and how much of effort I can put it so that it will still going to be a worthy good deal. Give me 1 second. Sorry, guys. So suddenly one call came from a realtor because it's a land assembly. It's about four properties in a very, very good location altogether, about 1 acre land with four properties, four houses, but it is going to be land acquisition and demolishing and build some apartment building. As I always like, apartment building is the number one opportunity, because in the other way, even if you take it in a long term, you can understand that you may have seen many properties, condominium, detached house and everything. People buy and sell and go. But some people are building some townhouses. And of course, right after they build, they sell and take the money and go. But instead of building a townhouse, if they build apartment building, what's happening? So they can get lots of loans and government benefits and all for the construction and all. Second thing, after 20 years or 30 years or what, they can still refurbish the building or even demolish the building after 40 years or whatever, and they can even rebuild again at the brand new buildings. You may have seen many places in Bayview and other areas like that. So that is a beauty, because you are not going to lose or sell the property, and still you are going to enjoy cash flow, profit, and everything. You can increase your lifestyle to the highest level, but even then, you are the owner of that land. If you have a property about $2 million worth now, the land value, and if you build apartment building, and after 30 years time or what, if you transfer that property to your children or what, how much going to be the market value of that land? $2 million land in 30 years time, maybe it is 10 million. I don't know, even more or less. So that is the opportunity when we think buy and hold for generation. Many people are doing that. So this deal is that assembly. So that's why I had to interrupt. Sorry, guys, but I hope it's a good information sharing. Okay, I hope you may have some good confidence about it. I'm going to share a little bit of deals that I did with zero down strategies. So you'll get more in confidence on this one. Yeah, so this is one property. I bought it for about $845,000 with VTB $150,000, and I put the mortgage with an A lender. And of course, the annual rent was about $120,000. I was able to increase it to $140,000. But at the time I bought the property, the value of that land, sorry, yeah, so even at the time of purchase, the property value, the appraisal value came $1,025,000. So about $200,000 more value I got it at the time of purchase. But again, in this year, about 2 months back, or what I did the appraisal again, that value is $1.25 million. So you see how much a price increase happening even in this market. So that is the beauty of multifamily. So the other property I can show here, this particular property, I bought it only for about $598,000. It has about 6 residential unit and 2 commercial unit. And by the time I bought that property, I bought with about $250,000 VTB, not 200,000. And at the same time, on the closing date, I got the appraisal value for 1.125. So you see the difference. It's almost double. So that type of property we bought it. And again, this year, somewhere in January, I did this appraisal. The value came to 1.507 from 598,000, 1.507. How it is possible? And I did all the appraisal from the same appraiser. I did not change the appraiser. Same company did the appraisal. So you can understand that what is the first situation, what is the second situation, current situation. So this is the opportunity we are talking about in multifamily investment. It all happened in Ontario. So you don't need to go far away to USA or wherever to really make multifamily investments. You can do that even here. Of course, gradually you can move out of country or out of province or whatever. That's perfectly okay, but when you have the knowledge. And of course, we are teaching the same subject applicable all around Canada and US. Okay, so the next property I'm going to show here is this. It's a property in Ottawa. It's a strip plaza with a residential element. And of course, I bought this property for about $1.315 million, I think. And I had about $200,000 VTB at the rate of 4%. And I spent about $50,000 plus on renovation and increased the market value to $2.5 million. I increased the market value and I did some work. And the value is that within 1.5 years time, the property value came from there to here. And of course, the current income is coming around $168,000, and we are expecting that to $180,000 within by February. So these are the opportunities we are talking about. So you can understand it is still possible. And particularly this property, if anybody is serious, they can even talk to me, because we are planning to bring some investors inside and do something else so that we can improve something better. Because about 0.5 kilometer away or 1 kilometer away, same land, square footage around half an acre land, empty land, got the approval for about 15 floors, 150 condominium units. So that land is sold for about $3 million. So I'm just talking about 2.5 million very, very conservatively, even with this much of income. But when we turn that to a multifamily or apartment building unit, definitely we can even demolish this and do that, because that value is totally unimaginable. So those are the opportunities we have in multifamily. And this is another property in Ottawa downtown. We bought it for 1.1 million with about $200,000 VTB and $100,000 third mortgage. So I did not put any money, but at the same time, this property has 5 different income, currently 4 different incomes. And of course, we are going to do the basement renovation. Once we do the basement renovation, that's going to bring another income. So 2 units, 2 residential units upstairs, and 1 unit is commercial unit main floor, and 1 residential unit behind. It's a single story separate residential unit. So 4. The basement is empty. We are doing some renovation on that. So that will bring additional income. So 5 different rental income opportunities. So this is another property, about 4.5 acre land with 3 commercial units and VTB $100,000. And of course, the potential increase, the rent is 100% because the tenants used to live there for a long time. It's open lease and lease is expired. So commercial, I can increase that by 100%. And I did the appraisal by the time I bought that. At that time, I got about $150,000 higher than the purchase price at the time of purchase. Again, I did the appraisal last month. At that time, it gave another $200,000, $175,000 more. So these are the opportunities we talk about with VTBs and everything. So this is another land we bought it with $200,000 VTB. We are planning to build like this, or otherwise we are going to sell the land as it is. But that's opportunity we are talking about with VTBs. But all these happen with debt capital, as I told, second mortgage, VTB, things like that. Debt capital is risky and time sensitive, and payment due and everything is there. You have to settle that everything. By chance, if you fail, you may have to pay about $250 per each default NSF charges, things like that. But at the same time, as I told, the profit belongs to you 100%. That is the beauty of that. And of course, you can start your real estate career with this. And after that, you can plan and move to equity capital, things like that. We teach how to raise equity capital, how to raise debt capital, everything. So you can even start somewhere, then move somewhere in the right direction. Because it all happened because I am very good with finding good properties and adding value and getting VTB. So this is easily happening to me. But once you learn, you can definitely do that. I hope you may be convinced that you must buy a multifamily property, or you can buy a multifamily property, or worst case scenario, at least you may feel you must learn about multifamily. Of course, if you don't learn and start doing something, definitely one fine day you may end up with some problems. So no matter what, you better learn and start doing that real estate, especially in commercial real estate, multifamily, things like that. So normally we teach in our advanced VTB trainings, we teach many things. And the reason why we teach, of course, you know that what's the reason behind that? Because if you don't have down payment, if you don't want to wait to save the money and buy properties, this is the best way. And of course, you have to learn how to ask for VTB and how to structure a deal with VTB. And you should know how to get VTB in good deals, because most of the bad deals you can get VTBs. In good deals, you have to really learn and do that one, how to do it. And then you have to make sure that how to make sure the deal really makes sense, because one deal may make sense to you, but the same deal should make sense to your seller as well as the lender. Then only it become a realized opportunity. So you should have it, and you should learn how to motivate agents or sellers. The last one is what happens if you don't get a VTB on a property. So these are the things you have to really learn. Before that, I want to share my story a little bit, 5 minutes. So as I told, I came to this country as an accountant, and of course, I started doing real estate within 6 months' time. And of course, I was doing 2-3 other jobs while I was in this first main accountant job. I was throwing newspaper from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. And again, from 7 to 3, I'm an accountant in downtown. And again, 3 or 4 to 7:30, 8 o'clock, I was doing courier delivery. Saturday, Sunday, and after 8 o'clock, I was having a small clothing business and an accounting business. My wife used to help that. So these are the 5 things I was doing in the time up to 2009. But of course, in 2009, my main accountant job I lost. When I lost that job, of course, it was difficult to carry the mortgage of those 2 properties, because suddenly my tenant also stopped paying rent, as I told you before. So it was very difficult to carry the property with all these things. And I missed that opportunity and I lost the property. But of course, I was so passionate in real estate. So I decided to continue in real estate and became as a mortgage broker After that, I was able to buy enough more properties, single family. This is the property that I lost, the PH6. It is one of the units in Scarborough. So I lost that unit just because the tenant didn't pay me the rent. It is not because of that. Actually, I didn't have real knowledge how to protect a property, how to evict a tenant. And of course, I didn't have enough people around me, experts, so that I can get the knowledge or idea. I didn't have that. So that's the reason. So of course, you can imagine in 2009, I was almost on the road, and of course, with two kids, and 2010, another kid on the way, my third baby girl, and of course, 2011, of course, my wife passed away with cancer, and of course, I totally forgot about the property loss and everything, but still, that person, the tenant, the way he betrayed me, because he's from the same community, the way he betrayed me and fool around and denied the mortgage, the rent payment is really burning into my heart even now. And of course, that's the reason I decided to become more into real estate. And of course, I did many things. So because the reason I came to mortgage, of course, when I lost a property through mortgage, sorry, when I was not sure about the property management or things like that, I want to learn that so that I can get more money and I can help other people also who lose properties like that. And of course, I help many people like that. And of course, I really wanted to get back what I lost from the same real estate industry. So that's how I did. And along with the mortgaging business, of course, I spend enough time and money on learning many aspects of real estate, wholesale, lease options, multifamily and commercial, and some part of commercial constructions too. So this is how I came into this one. Moreover, I really learned the zero down strategies. So I was able to buy properties with zero down strategies using many people's experience. But of course, I may have spent about $2.5 million, sorry, $250,000 in learning and many other things. And of course, in my mistakes, I may have lost another $250,000 because I did not have any coaches at that time. So I tried to learn everything myself, and many mistakes I commit, and it really cost me big time. The money, the costing money is okay, but the opportunity loss is big because I can show one property. I think I bought one property about $6.3 million. It's a strip plaza in Toronto. And on the closing date, I arranged the mortgage, everything. Lawyer is ready to close, but my investor partners did not bring their part of the money because each of them, three people, should have brought half a million, $1.5 million. But they didn't bring that because something went wrong. They couldn't get the money on time, but they didn't tell me about this one. So the seller forfeited my initial deposit, $115,000, and he did not give any extension to close. So I lost that money. And when I talked to my investor partners, they said, in business, sometimes losses happens, Leo. So you have to accept it. I told, bloody hell, what you talk about? Because this is not a business loss. It is a breach of trust. You were supposed to bring the money, you didn't bring. If I start the property and if I bought the property after that, if something went wrong and couldn't do something, it's perfectly all right. I understand that business loss, but this is not, it is a breach of trust. The reason it happened is, of course, my knowledge level was not good enough. I was thinking big and taking big steps, perfectly all right, but I did that myself. Of course, I'm an accountant, I'm a mortgage broker at that time. And I did many good deals with other people and single detached properties. Even then, we don't know what we don't know. That's the reason I missed that opportunity. Because if I had that property now, it should be minimum $10 million more. So that's opportunity I lost just because I didn't have right knowledge. So yeah, this is the property. This is the strip plaza I talk about. So it's in Toronto. It's a very good opportunity. So till 2017, I was not very serious about multifamily. Here and there, I'm buying single family properties, and I was doing mortgages for other clients, and I made many other clients rich, but I didn't really think too much. Of course, I bought about 14 properties by that time, but I didn't take it very serious. So these are the properties that I bought in single family up to 2017. Of course, by 2017, I decided to go deeper into multifamily, and I started this real estate investment club called Canada Investors Club so that we can meet many people and share opportunities, things like that. And in 2021, I decided to buy 10 multifamily properties because I was teaching about VTB strategies and everything for my students. And I decided one day I better show something bigger so that my students and everybody can get some more idea and confidence. So I told my wife about that January 2021. saying I'm going to buy 10 properties in multifamily in one single year. She asked me if I gone mad or what. I said, no, I know exactly we can do it, but I didn't know exactly how I'm going to do it. Still, I committed. I disclosed the fact to many people, so I can get back. If I tell somebody about that, what I'm going to do, we should do it. So that disclosing to other people really helped me to become accountable and responsible to keep my words. So at last, by December, I was able to buy 10 properties. Actually, I bought 13, but 3 properties I knocked out because of the market and property condition, things like that. Because 2 of them are land. I didn't want to involve in too much of land at that time because interest rate changes, carrying the land is difficult. I don't want to go. Even on those 2 lands, it cost about $2 million, but I arranged $500,000 VTB at the rate of 4% for 2 years or whatever. So you see, not 4 or 4.5, I'm not sure about it, but $500,000, 25%. If the 25% is there, even that land, I could have closed it. I don't need to keep any more money. But even then, contingently, I just decided not to buy that. But in long run, it's a loss. But at the same time, we had to be peace of mind when we are doing business. So that's the reason I decided to back up. One more property I backed up because it's going to take a lot of time to continue closing the deal. So I decided. So still, just because I disclosed that I'm going to buy 10, I was able to buy 10. So if you can tell that to other people and decide and commit, you can do or you can buy what you are really going to do. So this is just my story, but at the same time, guys, it is not only my story. Everybody have their own stories. Everything is same. Everything has its own value. So just decide what you want to do. And of course, as I told, the reason I had to go into VTB and zero down strategy is I didn't have any money because second property, when I bought it, I lost the first property. So after that, I didn't have enough money. So I really wanted to continue that. So I had to use some strategies. So that's why I decided to go into really zero down strategies because I didn't have money and I don't need to stop buying properties. I will not run out of money. And of course, I have my skill and knowledge and network. So sky was the limit. So I was able to buy about 14 properties in single family. So as I told, it is not my story alone. It is everybody's story. And you have to take that and take your action. That is easy to continue. So now I can continue about VTB more. And of course, generally banks don't like VTB, as I told, because they want to get a clean deal. But still, if you can properly strategize, definitely you can make use of that VTB and buy properties. One question, if you don't have enough money, are you going to wait for 5 years to save that money? Or you want to do some strategies and join somebody or pay somebody and learn the tactics and start buying properties? So this is one example. I put that very simple example. If you buy a property for $100,000, if you put $5,000 own money and $15,000 from VTB, that means your money is 5,000. Second option is you are buying a property without VTB, so that means whole 20,000 is deposit from you, and closing cost is $3,000. Resell price after 1 year is $130,000, and sales commission is about 6,800. All the legal fees together, and carrying cost is about $12,000 with VTB, and without VTB, that carrying cost is about $11,000. So the net profit with VTB will be $8,200. Net profit without VTB is $9,200. So you can obviously see the net profit without VTB is $1,000 more. That is really true. That's more better profit. But how much deposit are you supposed to put to make that $9,200 profit without VTB? Answer is $20,000. But you are losing $1,000, but at the same time, you are going to put only $5,000 down payment if you get a VTB deal. So for $5,000, you can make $8,200 profit. For $20,000, you will get $9,200 profit, which is better. Only $1,000 less, but $15,000 down payment less. That $15,000 down payment, you can invest some other properties. You can make more money. So you see here, the VTB with ROI is 164%. And ROI without VTB is 46%. So when you look at the ROI, which deal is better? 164 with VTB is definitely better than the other deal. So that is the reason I'm always saying our coaching program is called Infinite Cash ROI System, because when you don't put any down payment, that ROI percentage is going to go high from 164 to infinity. So when you don't put any down payment. So that is the ultimate strategy we try to teach and expect to go for it. So that is the opportunity we talk about in VTB and zero down strategies, guys. Do you have any questions? Anyone? If you do, let me know. And mostly we try to cover many other things also in our advanced VTB structures and VTB courses. And there we try to really take some practical examples and call the clients and call the sellers and call the realtors and try to get what else we can do. Because in my opinion, if you don't have down payment, that should not stop you buying properties. So that's what my target is. Because if you think that way, definitely you can buy any number of properties. Only condition is you have to raise your knowledge. As long as you raise your knowledge, and definitely you can do that. So this is what I'm telling. And in my opinion, in each level of business or real estate, the next level is difficult. You guys may have bought a single detached property for you to live. That was okay. Again, if you decide to move, sell and move to another property, you would have felt very easy. For you to keep that property and buy another rental property, a single detached rental property, is difficult, and it was difficult, and many people it is still difficult, because that is next level from single family owned property and they go to a single family rental property, which is difficult because it is next level. And those who have some single family properties for rent, and if they decide to go into multifamily, that's another next level. It is difficult. From grade 3 to grade 4 is difficult. So like that, from single family to multifamily is difficult. From duplex, triplex, like a small property, small multifamily to 10x and 20x, 20plex property is difficult. From low rise properties to high rise is difficult because it is next level. It's always scary, always difficult, because there you have to use different technology, different tool, different coaches and different network, and everything is different. Many coaches and people say, whatever took you up to this level will not take you to the next level. For that, you have to use different technology and knowledge and coaches or whatever things. So that is the reason we always say the next level is scary, but that is the one we call that as a success path. And if you really want to learn everything, you will kill your time. So that's why I always say who, not how. Don't try to learn the how, try to find who can help you first. Then gradually you can learn the how, but while you are progressing in your success. So if you see somebody in real estate, 1,000 people, if you notice, in 10 years time, only 40 people will go to the next level, because many people feel difficult in the first level itself, feel overwhelmed, and they will feel difficult to understand. So they are not taking the next step properly. They will spend more time, but still they are not taking the next step. Another 200 people who come to the next level feel really difficult to execute. And they try to spend more time and more money. Even then they feel sad or frustration or whatever. And only few people go to the next level, 40 people out of 200. But the 40 people really feel difficult to achieve the things, but even then they try to spend money or whatever, they try to join some coaches or accountability partners or business partners or whatever the way, they try to make and achieve the success. So this is always the success path. Always the better way is who, not how. So you can save about 1 to 10 years time and lots of mistakes and money while you are doing that. So this is always the successful way of become successful, in my opinion. If you guys have any question, let me know. As I told, how to buy your multi-family property, first multi-family property, my solution was unique proprietary process. You should know that. You should continuously have some support, and you should continuously have some expert advice, and you continuously learn. And of course, try to make that as a self-managing business if you really want to grow even bigger. If you can do that, nothing's going to stop you. Definitely you can become successful and go to the next level. This is one of the questions that VTB training people ask me. So guys, actually I'm having another training, not training, it's a meeting I have with some third party regarding one of the investment properties. So I'm going to jump on that. Sorry, I'm going to stop that right now, but I covered everything. But if you do have any questions, you can let me know soon, anytime. You can contact me. Only thing is, of course, I have my multifamily training package. It's about 12 months package. If you are interested, talk to me. And that has many benefits. Of course, my managers can talk to you about it. 5 one-on-one coaching and 10 full-day masterminds each month, 15-week mentoring sessions. That means about every Wednesday, 7 p.m., we meet and talk about real estate and find how to buy the properties. 5 quick 10 minutes quick calls. Anytime you can call me to get some answers. Again, we are going to teach that advanced VTB training and advanced underwriting training. And of course, you will be having the real estate resources. That means any realtors, mortgage brokers, and hard money lenders information and templates and checklists and everything. So if you have any questions, talk to us so that we can do more about real estate investment. Of course, the total value of that package is about $48,000. Of course, it is, because you will find about 13 full days of training and 5 one-on-one calls and many other things, and 1 online course that is lifetime access. So when I learned those strategies, I was able to make about $3.2 million in 1 year's time. So how much you can pay for a course like that? It should be minimum 40,000 or 20,000 or whatever. But my pricing is only $9,997. That means $10,000. If you are interested, talk to me or text me, or otherwise talk to my managers. So definitely we can carry on. Guys, is there any questions? I'm going to shut up a little faster today. What qualification we need to get VTB? Yes, we fairly covered that in our advanced VTB. We cover more than that. And what are the principles of VTB? Yes, we covered a little bit, and definitely we can cover that in advanced training also. And don't think only the VTB. Find out how to get into real estate and how to use OPM. OPM is not only VTB. So that I definitely am telling you guys. Is there any questions? I don't think for anything else now. So thank you so much. Get connected and talk to my managers or myself. We can have some talk about it. Thank you. Thank you, Srikanth. I noticed your message. We'll see you again. Thank you. Take care. Bye. Hello. Okay. Okay.